Good morning, everybody. Congratulations, Jacqueline. Can't wait to find out what the surprise gender is, since we weren't allowed to know. Can you see me and hear me? Two in my face. No, it's too far away. Okay. Thank you, Linda. All right, let me go up a little bit here. Is it optimal, safe for me to use the Radon Audica app? And if so, will my first time using it be a positive experience? I don't know what this app is, but is there potential for drama? Almost like either expectations unmet, feelings hurt, confusion of some sort, maybe something being triggered. I have 4 of Cups on the bottom. It's like you end up disappointed. Will I be successful in trapping my 3 ferals to be moved to a farm? And will this farm be a good fit for them? Will you be able to trap them to get them there? Yes. But I feel like you need to try a new method of doing this other than whatever you're doing right now. It's like they've outsmarted whatever you're doing right now, I guess, is what I'd say. I feel like you may feel like this farm is overcrowded or that they don't get enough attention or something like that. So not necessarily like harmful, but not as good as it could be, I guess. Should my boyfriend and I renew the lease or leave? Should we renew the lease or leave? I feel like leaving is better, but not if you have to do it quickly. Like if you have to like hurry up and be out and you don't have time to plan, then I would say stay and plan for the next go around to leave. Maybe if you can sign a shorter one. But I feel like the goal is to leave, but there's planning needed. I had 6 of Swords on the bottom of the deck, so that would be travel. Message from my guides on the hectic month I've got coming up. So Page of Diamonds is Page of Pentacles, which is the student. So it's like needing to learn when certain things are being triggered that are causing certain reactions that would be counterproductive. So what causes numbness? What causes procrastination? What causes suppression? Figuring out what triggers those things and how to be aware of when they're coming up to kind of keep progress going. Why is my dying aunt holding on to this world? Hospice doesn't understand why she won't let go. Why she won't let go. King of Diamonds going towards the star. Is she waiting for someone to find direction or to feel like directions are in order, or someone understands their directions? This King of Pentacles, something home, stability, money. I'm waiting for this. I'm waiting to know or feel confident that this person understands directions or understands their directions. Or maybe I'm waiting to feel like I have directions, but it feels more like the first one. What are Jay's true intentions with JC? Are they going to break up? True intentions. Are they going to break up? True intentions. Page of Wands. To see how far I can push something. Are they going to break up? I feel like there's secrecy here. And when the secrecy comes to the surface, I do have the Hierophant on the bottom, though, and the Hermit. It feels like one person in the commitment eventually starts to pull back as secrets come to the surface. Any general messages financially for my partner and I? Any general messages financially? It's kind of giving that quote, none of us are smarter than all of us. Two heads are better than one. Strength, overcoming something, Hierophant, commitment, and the Four of Wands would be financially. It feels like there's ways to almost like cut corners in terms of what's going out. It feels like redirecting the flow is important. So just getting momentum will take you a long way. And it feels like two of you collaborating on a thought that one of you previously had will bring a solution. You said there was a disconnect with a person that was whispering in Brandon's ear. Who might that be? Person whispering in Brandon's ear. Who might that be? Three of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles. Teamwork being given. Page of Swords. A message of teamwork being given. Would someone have a religious background that would have been passed that would be kind of trying to give... It's kind of giving an experience or a lesson being associated with something that would be biblical, like trying to connect the dots of a spiritual or religious even lesson to a current experience, if that makes sense. Will we get to keep our work from home days at my job? Will we get to keep our work from home days at my job? Not forever. It feels like for a time, yes. But then something requires... This kind of makes me think of like a empty full car gauge thing. It's like something that you don't see coming yet requires pedal to the metal type energy, and that's going to bring people back in, it feels like. I don't know what that means. If you type what that meant in a different one, and I will try to look for it. A message of hope. A message of hope. The burden that you're carrying is not for no reason. There are lessons that are unfolding that are not yet understood, but are going to start to be seen. This was an opportunity for you to show yourself what you're capable of here. And it feels like a lot of this lesson has to do with putting down burdens that weren't yours to carry. And as that's revealed to you what to put down, you'll start to feel a lot lighter. Here. Any advice for the weekend from my guardian angel? It's okay to take time to make decisions. It's okay to take time to unpack something that you might not immediately understand. You take back control by taking control of the timing or like the unfolding of choices or like the time it takes to make choices. Like if you feel like other things are out of your control, focus on the control you have over the timing of that. It'll give you back some semblance of control, and then also give you enough time to make the decisions that would be in alignment with clear thought. What does the dream mean? I dreamt I was tricked and trapped into a church room by a woman. I actually woke up yelling the word help in Spanish. High Priestess, Two of Swords. A spiritual lesson that hasn't been all the way wrapped up because there's elements of it being unseen. What recently in your life was a challenge to your throat chakra or expression? It relates to whatever that was. It's almost like once you connect the dots, you understand what that was supposed to mean. The first thing I said. Why were my aunts so negative and disrespectful? Should I continue giving them the slides? Why were they so negative and disrespectful? I'm following suit or going in the direction of something that I was told. Ace of Wands, like I'm going with the vibe of something the star would be public. I'm going with the vibe of something that someone else within the family said because I feel like I'm getting something out of it. This kind of gives the energy of like someone else watching and I need to uphold a certain energy while someone else is watching for some reason, if that makes sense. Should I continue to give them the slides? Continuing to do that makes some situation better. Continuing to do that takes something off your back. Like, okay, I tried. They didn't want to cooperate or they wanted to do that when I was trying to save face or do the right thing. It takes something off your back is kind of how I want to word that. I feel like yes to the slides question. Message and song from your father. Message and song from your father. Love doesn't end, it just travels across time and space. You'll know I'm near when you just know without needing any proof. When I Look to the Sky by Train is the song. Guidance from Higher Self. Fix You by Coldplay is another song because that just fell off the deck. Guidance from Higher Self. There's some kind of logical financial move that's going to require you being a student of a different option. Like, I learn all about this type of investment, or I learn all about how I could bring in extra income this way. It's like you need to start as a beginner in some way that leads to some kind of solution. In something you're stuck in, Six of Swords in reverse, in something that feels stagnant. Will Michael be able to retire in June? Will Michael be able to retire in June? June's what? January, February, March, April, May, June, 6, July, August, September, October, November, December. I feel like August to September. August to December feels more of a time frame. It feels like there's a choice made last minute to hold off. So I don't know if that's I retire and then paperwork takes longer to like get something in. It feels more like last minute I decide to wait a little bit longer. Like I decide to stick it out for a couple more months. So I would say August to December feels more appropriate time frame wise. Why does my sister treat me the way she does? Any messages from my deceased younger sister? Let's see if she answers this. Look at the timing. Something shifted right before or after I passed. Pay attention. That feels connected to other sister. So younger sister is saying, why does other sister treat you the way that she does? Look at something that happened right before or after I passed. What shifted? And the song just said ready for war. It's like something triggered, something stepped on like a landmine type thing where you like once you take your foot off, it kind of blows up type thing. What happened that you didn't see? Oh, these are both directions from younger sister. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A location holds answers. Revisit it with fresh eyes. An event that took place at a location that caused things to shift right before or after younger sister passed. A secret and kicking down a door might be some clues to that. And 5 is symbolic of change. So whatever this was caused some kind of change. Any hint on who in the living or what I'm supposed to ask for clarity that will allow growth? Interesting answer. Is there someone that you used to listen to or talk to, but you had to walk away in order to focus on overcoming some kind of obstacle that required you to like not have distractions? It almost feels like there's a wise voice from the past in that way, but it's like at that time you had to rid yourself of distractions and kind of focus on things that other people couldn't understand as easily. This could be like a podcast, or this could be like a person, or this could be like a habit that you used to have around that time. Messages specific to my relationship. It feels like there's a message of needing to get on the same page here. It feels like one person is kind of using a bit of distractions to not face something, and then another person is a little bit too caught up in their head to face, and it's like the same thing, like we're both thinking about it but we're not talking about it, so we need to kind of get on the same page about it. 6 of Wands on the bottom of the deck, which is public, so something that's happening in here needs to be discussed externally. Messages from my spirit guides. Messages from my spirit guides. It feels like there's a need to reevaluate how much attention you're putting into people that feel more trustworthy than maybe they are. It kind of feels like there's this energy of flowers not growing because someone's holding shade over them when the sun should be beating on them. Does that make sense? I would say there's a need to kind of pull back your energy and see what shifts for you in terms of forward movement. Will Ramsey find a house soon? This House by Tom McDonald just started playing. I feel like yes, but there's something finance-wise that needs like ducks in a row. So I don't know if that's needing to shift budget, needing to shift, I don't know, something connects the dots in terms of how quickly this can happen. I feel like this is something that happens soon, though. I would say within the next 10 months. Or if the time frame feels more condensed than that, then the 10 could be weeks instead of months. Message from your mom and a song. Blackbird by the Beatles is the song. Winter holds a message for you. The night sky in winter holds an answer. What constellation or moon phase connects? Objects, locations, and records hold energy. What still carries my presence? It's almost like I left you a breadcrumb, or I left you a clue that will make sense in time. Maybe it relates to Christmas or something in the winter season that is in alignment with constellations. That's like when you'll find it, like something going on holiday wise in alignment with something sky wise. Look for that time period for that clue. Any messages for me? Any messages for me? Feels like you're going to be getting an opportunity to speak your truth here in a different way. Almost like the opportunity to do this comes in quickly, and it's not a very long conversation, but it feels freeing. I would say trust yourself in that conversation. Queen of Swords, trust yourself. Message for the weekend with full moon and eclipse. Let it come as it comes, let it go as it goes. It feels like there's going to be a lot of ebb and flow of emotions or thoughts that are analyzing emotions. So either I'm feeling the emotions or I'm overthinking them. So let it come as it comes, let it go as it goes, like waves, because it feels like there's going to be a crashing of them, but not holding on to them helps the moments pass more quickly that are not good moments. These current feelings towards me romantically. Trying to not think about it. I'm noticing the towers here. The reckoning by need to breathe. Catch my breath. Catch my breath, but I'm holding back, trying not to think about it, trying to put an ending to my thoughts about it. It's almost like feels, what's that word? Like forbidden fruit type energy. This feels like forbidden fruit type energy. Like I'm thinking about it, but I don't want to think about it type of thing. Like I feel like I'm not allowed to think about it, but I'm thinking about it and actively trying to stop myself. Is my dad end of life? Thank you. Is my dad end of life? My dad end of life. My dad end of life. 7 of Wands. My dad end of life. It's like something is maintainable for a time, but then something speeds up. Like it feels like something that isn't right now, but when it happens quickly. Death board. Swords. My throat is like closing up. I feel like things are closing in to be that way. It might not be as quick as your worst fear, but I feel like when it happens, it'll be like, okay, we realize it's going to happen and happens quickly. But I don't feel like that's immediate. And maybe something with the throat or breathing. The generation cycle of fear that I'm breaking is what? Generation fear that I'm breaking. Broken trust. Worthiness wound. Soul contracts. Because of other people that should have been in positions of trust in your life that actually turned out to be untrustworthy, there was this wound of, can I trust myself and my discernment? And it feels like you've had certain experiences that have shown you, because discernment is when you don't have to go all the way into the lesson to learn it. So your discernment is allowing you to back away from people who are no good for you now instead of trying to prove your worth. It feels like that's the cycle that you're breaking. What is happening with my current love interest? What is happening with my current love interest? Feels like this person's a little bit more hesitant to commit to the level that you would like, where you would like that level of commitment to feel secure because of things from your past, like in the connection. So it just feels like your speeds are different. It's not that each of you don't want it, because there is planning here on the other person's part, but it feels like your speeds are different is what I would say. During the last live, I had to put my senior dog Trixie down. Oh no, I'm so sorry. How is she? Is she with my other dogs in heaven? Cinderella and Bruno. Who's this deck? Who's this deck? Did you ask anything about her during that live, I wonder? Trying to remember. I know you have, but I don't know if it was during that live or not. Growth doesn't stop when life does. It just continues in a different way. What I hope you realize is letting go of grief doesn't mean letting go of me. This is quite literally like you'll see my presence in the other animals or in other ways, but like I don't want you to be sad. I want you to know that it was okay to my time to go. 7 makes me think of like a week, like it was my time to clock out at the end of my shift type of thing. I'm sorry for your loss. Wait, why did this move? Hold on. Am I in the right job, career, long term? Am I in the right job, career, long term? I feel like you're going to be doing what you do, but in a different setting, because this would be some kind of ending to something. But then the church here and the give and take here is like, I'm still doing this, but just over there instead of over here. So I feel like long term will likely see you shifting to doing the same thing, but in a different setting or like in a different company. Should I look for another job? Should I look for another job? It feels like you've outgrown your current job. Either there's no room to expand or you want like more responsibility and there's no way to get it, or like maybe you were promised that and it just never seems to be happening. It just feels like there's this energy of I've outgrown it here. So I would say yes, but not and don't leave where you're at until you have something up and running. Thank you, Miss Thumper. Any messages I need to hear, please? Any messages I need to hear? Queen of Cups, Page of Pentacles. It feels like there's a major lesson kind of coming full circle right now. So like you're noticing similar things to the past and you're like, oh no, here comes the past again. But it's not that. It's just an opportunity to have similar experiences, but choose differently. So it feels like seeing the past isn't necessarily a punishment right now. It's more of a release. So trust yourself to make the right decisions, and doing so will make it so you don't experience what you didn't want to re-experience. Is it in my family's highest interest to get a bunny? My daughter is campaigning hard for one. Bunnies are a lot of work. I had bunnies. I see your indecision here when it comes to feeling like you're going to have to do all the work. I feel like she'll be more helpful than you may be fearing, but I also feel like you're going to think it's a lot of work. So I feel like if you could hold off a little bit, I would say maybe do one of those if you still want it this bad in 6 months type thing. I think that might be saving you from added work that you don't necessarily want to do. Let me go to these. New member, thank you. You'll never be placed in a storm you can't navigate yourself out of. The universe doesn't want you to break down. It wants you to break free. The lightning on the card makes me think that something is going to be lit up like direction-wise or decision-wise for you soon. New member, welcome back. To endure is to evolve. Your wounds tell your story, but your scars do not define you. Only you can do that. The butterfly makes me think of the other card with the butterfly that's like when a butterfly is trying to get out of the cocoon, you can't help it. You have to let it do it by itself. It feels like that's what's happening for you right now. All right. Oh, I skipped one. Let me do this one and that one. What does D need from me, or what can I do, if anything, to show him giving a relationship is worth a shot with me? Addressing the confusion relating to commitment wounds. It's like needing to feel like commitment is a two-way street, or almost like identifying a lesson learned in relationship to commitment to help clear up questions that don't know how to be asked from that person's perspective. Clarity around plans for commitment, or defining commitment. It's like a long awaited message, like wanting something to be explained that doesn't know how to be asked, is kind of how I would word that. The final outcome from family court, good or bad? Good or bad? Good or bad? Is it possible it's both? Like, is there more than one thing up for debate here? It kind of feels like one thing, the court sides heavily with the mother's side, or a feminine side of things. Why is my thing blinking? My keyboard just, like, the light just blinked a bunch of times. What could that mean? Keyboard light just blinked a bunch of times. It's almost like someone goes with a mother's side of things because it goes in alignment with something they've seen before, and they make up their mind from the start about that. But then it also feels like something else doesn't go as bad as expected, but not all the way ideal either. That's kind of the explanation I'm getting. I have 4 of Pentacles, so it feels like you're protected from the worst case scenario. And what that may mean is anything that doesn't go well, you can appeal in some way. Like there's appeal availability of things because of how the decisions were laid out, if that makes sense. That's what I'm getting. Hopefully that helps. What does my mom think of me taking in my uncle? What does your mom think of you taking in your uncle? Look at the repeating patterns. You keep being drawn to something. Don't ignore the pull. Look through others. Someone you least expect will confirm what you already sense. I will always love you, and supermarket flowers. I feel like this is a confirmation of yes. Learning a lesson and supermarket flowers makes me think she keeps trying to point you towards, like, finding, like, every rose has its thorn. Like there's something that's hard about this, but there's also beauty to be found in it. That's how I would kind of read that. I lost my friend in high school in a car accident. I was supposed to be with him. Anything he wants to say? Oh, yes. I am so proud of you. You don't hear it enough, but I need you to know I am proud of you. I see how far you've come, even when you don't. I see the way you keep going, even when it's hard. I see your strength in the quiet moments, in the choices no one else notices. You have made it through so much, and you are still standing. You are doing better than you think, and I am so incredibly proud of you. Oh, it's a graduation picture on the bottom with my best friend on there. And you are stronger than you realize, especially when you stop doubting yourself and trust the process. It says don't give up on the back of that one. I know. I was hoping that maybe he was just lost, but I really don't think anyone did anything to the boy, though. I think he just kind of followed the direction of her and got distracted, and a shame. I go to here. Random deck. What do I need to know regarding the next 7 days? What do I need to know regarding the next 7 days? Well, that card was separate from the other one. Oh, observe and take nothing personally. Take everything for what it is. That was a straggler. It was meant to be with the other deck, but it wasn't. So stand back and observe. Things growing, a love triangle, love expands, beauty blossoming, a short space of time. So you're asking about the next week. Parties, implement choices, feelings, small celebrations. And we have love thoughts or messages, a child, gentle, creative. Stand back and observe to come up with creative ways to interpret things that are being said around you that seem to be coming from good intention. Look at what else could this mean, or why else could this be being said? Not in like a paranoid way, but like in an observer way. I have 2 job opportunities. Message from guides of which one I should be more focused on. Actually, let me take that back. So you don't have a final decision yet. Judgment in reverse. Whichever one you got first is going to be the first pile. First offer, second offer, first offer. I want to say the second offer, false advertisement of something, like maybe it's you're going to work 40 hours but you end up working 50 and you don't want to do that, or like maybe something's misinterpreted. I feel like option 1, the one that you got offered first, is the right one. Message for the week ahead. Message for the week ahead. You're going to finally get the information that will allow you to feel confident in making some kind of final decision. So don't feel like, oh no, I'm behind, or I need to seek something. It will find you when it's time for you to understand how to interpret it as a confirmation of a final decision. Does Aunt J have a message for my mother or anyone in the family? I have Rainbow coming on as the song. Who sings this? Casey Musgraves. When it rains, it pours, but you didn't even notice it's not raining anymore. I keep trying to show you that you are exactly where you need to be. Something you need to know about the past is forgiveness is the key to understanding it. Forgiveness is the key to understanding it. Some kind of confirmation of like, I'm with someone on the other side that I've made amends with. Like we see eye to eye now. How will my dog's echocardiogram go in April? How will it go in April? I feel like you're going to find out something you don't know about yet. So they're going to discover something, but I feel like there's a solution to the something they discover. So it's like, now that we know this, we can do this and it'll be fixed type of thing. It feels like that's kind of Star in reverse, something you don't know yet. Is there any message I need to hear today? Any message you need to hear today? Someone's finally seeing the truth about something that you'll be happy they're seeing the truth about. It's almost like you're like, okay, I can wash my hands of this now because I know that they're seeing clearly. It almost feels like something that didn't feel to go in your favor before. With this truth, now it looks more in your favor is kind of how that feels. Feels like a positive thing, but it's like you see it from afar, or you're not directly involved in it, if that makes sense. I am seeing repeating numbers on the clock every day. Is this coincidence or what is the message and from who? No, communication. 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 What comes next is something only you can define for yourself. I never got to tell you the truth behind what really happened. Feels like you're learning some truth. It's communication from either a spirit guide or someone who's passed over, helping to point you towards a truth so that you can see that what comes next is in your power to control or create or define. Why do I have so much trouble making and keeping friends? How do I change this about myself? Strength as a bridge connecting. Heart chakra. It feels like there's this person in the past that was meant to be that friend for you, someone you trusted, someone you depended on, someone you expected to be there for you. This person was not. And it feels like there's this constant unintentional, almost like unaware, like as soon as I feel that friendship, I start pushing away. And it feels like it's something that's kind of picked up on as avoidance or like maybe like disinterest at times, like almost like the other person can feel you pulling away, and it brings out questions that they have about themselves, like what did I cause thing, not to like make you feel bad. It's more of just like I don't know, it feels like it's all happening on like this unconscious subconscious level, and it just creates distance between you and the person. But it feels like needing to know that now your discernment will allow you to trust people who are trustworthy, as opposed to in the past when you needed the lessons of what happens when you trust people who are not, if that makes sense. My father-in-law recently passed. Has Marcel crossed over and is he okay? Is he with us? What is his message for you? I never got to tell you where I left that important item. The truth you've been avoiding is letting go isn't the same as forgetting. So 1 to 7, this makes me feel like the 1 to 7, first day of the week, seventh day of the week, creation day. It's like I've gone through all my process of everything I need to go through, and now I'm kind of trying to find ways to communicate things that I didn't get to say before I left. I would say yes, okay, yes, with you. Some kind of truth, like this is a secret being told and this is truth. It's like I'm trying to pass some kind of information to you, or to someone. So like follow the trail type of thing, and that will help show you my presence, that I'm okay, and a truth that you need to know. Are my sisters A or S envious or jealous in some way? Is that they broke my trust and betrayed me? Feels like it's more so coming from one of them. And I feel like before I said something to the effect of like, one of them had the idea and then the other one just kind of went with it. The one who had the idea, it feels like, because like the what's it called, light bulb looking thing in her hand, right? um it's like it's kind of the energy of how did we start out in the same place and you dealt with this so much better than I did in regard to some kind of shared experience or wound or something. It's like stemming from that. It feels like you handled this better than I did. How dare you, if that makes sense? Or like, how did we start in the same place and we're not in the same place? Please provide Chrissy with a message from her brother Charlie on his 11th anniversary in heaven. 11th anniversary. I'm noticing the jester on the bottom of this card of this deck, which makes me think like jokester energy, like maybe one who would kind of make things light with a joke. You've already survived. Proof that you are far stronger than you realize. You have more power than you realize when it comes to choosing how to carry on from here. This is the message of like, you've already gone through the hard part. You've already gone through the hard part. Don't hold yourself back now. Fix you and a workout. So like you have the stamina to push through whatever's standing in your way right now. Thank you, Echoes of Clarity. There we go. Is it optimal for me to take actions to reopen my third eye? I got scared, overwhelmed when I previously had it open. This is that. This is like, if you want to open it, what's that quote? If you tell yourself you will, you will. If you tell yourself you won't, you won't. That's this. It's like, it's only locked because you didn't feel ready to open it. So if you want to open it, it will open. Fear of success in reverse. Your third eye is like fear of failure in reverse. Fear of success and failure, both in reverse. Is there something you would not want to see? Like, it's not fear of doing it wrong, doing it right, doing it or not doing it at all, it working, it not working. It's fear of what you're going to see when you're in there. Needing to address whatever it is that there may still be some avoidance around memory wise, specifically repressed memory wise. What is the repeating history pattern that I'm supposed to be watching for? Self-love and self-worth wound as it ties to independence. Self-love, self-worth, independence, comparison. Comparing where you are with where other people are, and or where you are with where you think you should be. It's like internal and external. One triggers the other, and it puts you in this like, okay, well, I'm doing this wrong, or there's no solution to this. It puts you in that train of thought, and it has a lot to do with comparison. Again, comparison to others and comparison to where you thought projected yourself to be, because you're where you need to be to get to where you want to go. But if you're stuck in that blame or shame cycle, it takes you out of the present moment, which is where you find solutions. Feels like that's what's repeating. Did my daughter cause issues between my brother and I in order to get his house, as it was willed to myself? And did he listen? Holding back from moving forward and making some kind of choice. Did your daughter cause the issues? Would the issues in question be lies about like being of sound enough mind to do the right thing with it? It's almost like this feeling of like, I plant seeds of I should have it, because if it goes there, we don't know what's going to happen with it. Feels like that. Like, I'll do the right thing with it, where if I don't get it, the right thing might not be done with it. Feels like those are the seeds in question. Page of Cups, the daughter. Did he listen? I feel like yes. I feel like there was some kind of documental change made. I don't know why I want to word it like that. Full moon this weekend, any messages? Full moon this weekend, any messages? I was going to say directions from your husband. directions for your husband in relation to something with planning, and then the King of Wands came out. And we have this on the back, which is like a winding road. Ready, set, don't go. And truth on the back of that one. I know you've been questioning whether you're on the right path. Trust that you are. And a 7 again. Both 7s, and these are both 7s. Within a week's time, you'll have the revelation of the truth you've been avoiding is the past can't change, but the way you carry it can. The past can't change, but the way you carry it can. It kind of feels like you're going to start to see what you need from you. Pay attention to what you need from you, because it feels like there's some new process or new foundational piece of your puzzle that's going to start to be incorporated. It's almost like finding a way to have fun or turn pain into purpose type of thing. Start to look for signs of what he's pointing you towards with that. Because when the veil is thin, I can pass you these messages more easily. Does my husband make promises to me knowing he will forget them / break them? I know when I'm saying it that it's not. When I'm saying it, I'm worried about my ability to fulfill what it is I'm saying. And I kind of expect to disappoint you. But what else do you want me to do? Just tell you what's going to happen that's going to be disappointing? What's that quote? It's like it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission or something like that. It feels like not that directly, but like that vibe. You know what I mean? Like it feels like that energy. It's easier to just clean it up after than to make a mess that there's the chance it won't happen. I might not disappoint you, but I'd rather just clean it up after if I do. I've had some vivid, memorable dreams recently. Can have some guidance about them and a song. Guidance about them. Feels like you're being given a different perspective on something you went through as to release it and put down the self-blame. So it may be that your guides are kind of using symbolism. It may not be that you're reliving what you went through. It may be like symbolic storytelling type of thing, but it feels like you're being shown a different perspective so you can kind of forgive yourself, it feels like, or shift perspective to put down a burden that isn't meant to be carried. Any message from my mom? What is her thought on what is going on with your grandfather? Any message from your mom? Look at what's missing. There's something you haven't considered. Look in a different direction. That feels to be for grandfather. There's something you haven't considered. Look in a different direction. Summer was when I felt most alive. If you need to reconnect with me, go outside in the sun. Sun download. If you seek clarity and kind of sit with it, she'll kind of come through and help push you in the direction she wants you to look with this, with grandfather. The direction the decision you're struggling with isn't just about logic. Trust your intuition too. It's like you're looking here, right? You're looking straight ahead right here, which would help if I face my camera. You're looking straight ahead here, and she just wants to like nudge your head to see something from this direction. Does that make sense? Like, it's not that you're not seeing the right thing. It's just you need to also consider something else. I have a bed there. Bed and number 66. Something going with my grandfather. I feel like that's kind of the message of something getting progressively worse. Bed 66. That's kind of what that feels like to me. A confirmation of that, perhaps. Is there more chemo or extended radiation in my future after surgery? Is there more chemo or extended radiation in my future after surgery? Would it make sense if it's something that's like almost like a lessened version or a slower version or a more spaced out version or like a less dose over longer period of time type thing? I guess that'd be like less invasive. I don't know if that's the right word though. It feels like there's something like that where there's something, but it's not the same weight or like umph of the first round, if that makes sense. Let me go back to these. New member, welcome back. One of these. Deep down, you know exactly what you're capable of. There's even moments you get a glimpse of your potential. You can get there. And I have Welcome by Fort Minor playing. You don't need permission from anyone or even, I don't know. It's like there's this green light go energy coming through. Am I wrong for thinking the guy my daughter is seeing is a bad seed and not good for her and the kids? No, you're not wrong. There's not an equal give and take here. It's almost like it's kind of the energy which seems biased being that I'm reading for you, but like she deserves more type energy. Like the Jester in reverse, it's like he's clowning himself, not treating her the way she deserves because it's like I've exceeded who should be with me type of thing, like, and I'm still not doing what I need to be doing to keep it good. So no, I don't think you're wrong. Why was Elle horrible to her great gran yesterday? I'm expressing internal issues externally. I'd rather be somewhere else is kind of how this reads. King of Diamonds. I'd rather be somewhere else is how this reads, and I'm acting out in a way that is leaking out. Like my internal, I'd rather be somewhere else, and that is triggering this internal battle with myself. Why does my keyboard keep flashing? And that's spilling out onto great gran is how that feels. Guidance for talking with my mom successfully about treating me as my own person, being less controlling, and boundaries. Could you bring either in your mind or on notes or something like specific examples? Almost like if you can paint her a picture of it, like not like making her feel like an idiot, but like painting a picture of it with words in a way that she can not see it. Like if you present it where you're like, here's a paint by numbers of it, like you can pretend not to see it, but here it is. I feel like that will be well received, almost like a business presentation, but like a watered down business presentation. Like you don't have to wear a suit and tie, but like, you know what I mean? Like present it in a way where you're kind of laying it out for her to analyze. And then maybe even say like, take some time and think about it, but this is where I'm coming from type thing. I feel like that would be well received, or at least more well received than doing it where it's just kind of like, hey, let's maybe turn it into an argument. I feel like the other way is better. Do my spirit guides have a message for me? Do my spirit guides have a message for me? It feels like this is like a literal talent or skill. Yeah, something that was not all the way utilized before because there was confusion about how to use it is looping back around. So almost like an interest you used to have, or like maybe even like a certain desire to treat yourself well or eat a certain way. It's like something's looping back around and you're being called to kind of follow it. It has bigger implications than just what it is on the surface level. Why is Artemis so angry at his sick, dying brother dogs? Is he he is so nasty and barking and showing teeth? Huh. That's showing teeth. A control thing, a power thing. 14-year-old dog so angry at his sick, dying brother. So he's not the one that's dying, it's the other one. Control thing. Could it be that the sick dog is getting more attention? Maybe not necessarily more than Artemis, but more than Artemis would like him to be getting. Like sick dying brother is getting more attention than before, and there's this like, does that mean I'm going to start getting less type energy? It feels like that. It feels like emotional trigger as it pertains to control, because they're both your babies. I guess I'd say like a little bit of like, I feel like animals are very aware. So like there's awareness that I'm losing my brother and I'm angry about that, but then I'm also angry with the attention thing. Would it be a better idea for me to sell my art online or at craft fairs? I feel like online's a good foundation to have either way, and craft fairs, I would say try it out, see if you like it, see if it does well. But I feel like either way, online would be a good foundation. So either both or just online, if you're only picking one. Any messages from Daisy? Any messages from Daisy in a song? Some truths don't come in a straight line. You have to be willing to see differently. Love doesn't ask for anything in return except to be felt. Who You'd Be Today by Kenny Chesney is the song. Trust your intuition as it pertains to where your feelings are leading you. Don't try to analyze them, just feel them. It's like you need to unpack something further that can only be unpacked in that way. Random message for the week. Random message for the week. Don't let the ocean from other people's river get in your boat and sink it. There's this need to like observe and take nothing personally when things don't go the way you'd hope or expected. It feels like things are happening quickly. So if you feel and then let it go instead of carrying and holding on to, it'll make moving forward from things that are frustrating more smooth. Oh, throat closing. That's why I was literally feeling that. I wonder if that's the sign when there's something significant that happens in that piece of what he's dealing with, like specifically the throat. Like when you get news about that, that can be when the more quick process will kind of be triggered, if that makes sense. I made a bunch of changes to this, the new version. I put little tokens in the front too, because I always use the token deck with it. So I was like, why don't I just add tokens? So now the new one will have little tokens with it. And all the backs are going to be all stick figures so that it looks like writing in the clouds instead of like some of them aren't, like I think like 5 aren't. But anyway, and change that. But they're a lot better. They're even better. Am I moving in the right direction in choosing my relationship, or am I going off track? Off track. Not that there's not a lesson to be learned here, but it feels like the lesson is in taking back your power. The lesson is in choosing yourself. The lesson is in, I know what my heart wants, but what is pattern recognition and logic telling me? Is it telling me I'm going in a circle or a cycle? Because if it is, am I just proving myself right when I loop back around like, yep, there's the cycle. Okay, I'm doing it again. There's the cycle. It feels like that. So you'll learn the lesson more and more and more deeply, but the completion of the lesson is when you allow pattern recognition and logic to tell you what your emotion may be blinding you to a bit. That's how I'd word that. Sorry, that might have been a little harsh, but I feel like you needed to hear it like that. The Primero Tarot. I got it on Etsy. Primero Tarot. I really like it. It's got gold edges. What is going on with Carlos and dreams I have been having? Okay. What is going on with Carlos and dreams I have been having? It's almost like trying to show you a perspective of what you couldn't see, but like your spirit team saw things you didn't see, and they're trying to help you come to the understanding of what they understand from what they saw that you didn't see. Does that make sense? As to bring balance here. There may be some unintentional self-sabotage in regard to certain choices that are kind of being brought to light through like the symbolism or whatever is coming through in the dreams. Any advice as I reach out to schools with my resume, cover letter, and my plan for ideal job? For some reason, I felt I should wait for this month. Is there a way to highlight some? I don't know if this is like in your conversations or in like your resume and cover letter. There's something you do differently than other people. Is there a way to highlight that as like a little, like it's there, but I'm not pushing it in your face. I'm just, I don't know. It's like the right person catches that little thing, the little like not in your face, but making sure it's in there. They catch that, and that's kind of, it feels like how they reel you in or how you reel them in, whatever. But highlighting something that other people do but you do differently, so whether that's a certain process or something, or a certain tool or a certain credential, the hook is what gets something reeled in one way to the other. Is Tatum attracted to me? Is Tatum attracted to me? I'm intellectually stimulated, and that maybe has brought up some 10 of cup like fantasies, I guess. But I've also put them to bed. So if I think about it, I unthink about it after type of thing. It's like this cycle that I have with myself is kind of how that reads. Message from my guides regarding my growth. Message from my guides regarding my growth. It's like you've reached a checkpoint. You needed to get to this checkpoint of surrender in one regard, and now that you have surrendered, now your guides are going to give you the paper and pen so you can start to write down the plans, and then you take action. But there's this lack of urgency. There's this like going with the flow in terms of timing. So now that you can do that without rushing forward, now the next step of the plans can be kind of revealed or unveiled to you. Kieran leaves school soon. Will he get a good job? Will he get a good job? I feel like he's going to get a job that he doesn't necessarily expect at first, but that it's like, I'm using this skill in a way I didn't expect, but I also am able to like intellectually challenge and stimulate myself, but in a way I didn't expect. So I feel like, yes, especially with that King of Wands coming out first, but it's like, I don't know, like, for example, this doesn't have to be literal, but like I expect to be a teacher and I end up doing banking. Like it feels like there's some difference like that. Message from Granddad Alec. Message from Granddad Alec. You have more power than you realize when it comes to choosing how to carry on from here. If you only knew that I visit in dreams more than you realize. So look to your dreams for synchronicity, signs, symbols of which direction to move forward in a way that feels stuck right now. Am I actually in premenopause from chemo? Am I actually in premenopause from chemo? I'm actually in premenopause. I'm actually in premenopause from chemo. Is there like a pre? Oh wait, perimenopause. I don't know if that's something different than pre. Is there like a stage before whatever that would be? Like the pieces are there, they just haven't connected yet, is how it feels. So that makes me feel like it may be something that can still be pushed away or alleviated or controlled or whatever because it hasn't taken effect yet, if that makes sense. But with the tower, it does feel like there's something going on because of actions that were taken. So that would be the chemo. If that is meant to be pre, I feel like it's like pre, or if that's not pre, then it's pre whatever that is, if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. Is there a message from my guides? I can't shake this uneasy feeling, and a song. Born for This by Outskirts. It feels like there's a necessary ending that you're feeling coming, but the necessary ending needs to happen so that the new beginning can happen. It feels like there's an ending of a painful cycle attached to this, but like you're ready for it. So there's some uneasiness about something that you want to grip on that needs to be let go of, but there's a necessity to let it go. Let come what comes, let go what goes, type of thing. Is my granny's health okay? What can we know about your granny's health? Is your granny's health okay? It's like something that they recently Okay, so like this would be I go and I have an issue, I get it looked into, they treat the issue, we say it's past us, and then it's not all the way past us. It feels like something like that is coming back up. It doesn't feel like catastrophic, but it feels like something that is draining, like over time, like a slow drain of energy over time that kind of compiles. It feels like that because of this prolonged issue. So it feels like something that we're moving past isn't all the way past yet. We're not in the clear yet, is how I'd word that. But also not worst case scenario. Somewhere in the middle, but a little bit. No, I feel like somewhere in the middle of that is good to word it. Is Elle happy at home? Does Billy bully her? Is Elle happy at home? Kind of giving I prefer to be alone at home, but I'm happy at home, but I just kind of prefer when I'm more alone. Does Billy bully her? Yes. Verbally. Feels like verbally. Or at least verbally more so than anything else, but it feels like verbally. How's my dad doing on the other side? Am I on the right path to spiritual abilities? How is my dad doing? What does your dad want to say? The legacy I leave behind is alive in the stories you still tell about me. It's almost like he's like, how am I doing on the other side? I'm sitting here watching you tell these stories. Like, I'm worried about you. You don't worry about me. You'll know I'm near when a song from our past plays unexpectedly. When I Look to the Sky by Train is the song. Am I on the right path to spiritual abilities? You're making magic out of your wounds. It feels like maybe the grief from the loss of your dad is what has kind of cracked this shell open. It's almost like he's like, well, I gotta push this towards you so you can communicate with me better, type of thing. What do you expect from me? Is what that's the energy I'm picking up. What do you expect from me? 1 second, I'm scrolling. Should I befriend my brother's ex-wife B again? Should I befriend B again? I feel like it doesn't hurt. This is kind of reading like B could use a friend. But it also feels like this energy of like you feeling like something has been made right by doing that, if that makes sense. Was my sister's apology sincere? Was my sister's apology sincere? Feels a little bit more like I'm doing what I feel like I have to do, or I'm doing what I feel like is right or expected. Not that there's not some sincerity to it. It's almost like I should feel sorry, so maybe once I say it, I'll feel it, but I don't yet. But there's value in what I'm doing. I find value in what I'm saying. Telling you how I know I should feel is how I word that. Will my son's MS get better? Will my son's MS get better? I kind of want to word it as gets better by finding more manageable ways to deal with certain things that are a little bit more burdensome that are associated with it. So I feel like that makes things feel better, and while they might not be like medically better, it's more lifestyle maintainable better. Does that mean it won't get better medically. Hanged Man, a state of surrender or a pause. 5 of Cups. That's kind of how I would word it. It feels like there's a discovery of more manageable ways to deal with the symptoms of things. I'm gonna see if there's. Is there a silver lining to what I feel is going wrong right now? Is there a silver lining? Adam and Eve, it's like learning a very tough lesson that you need to go all the way into in order to learn the lesson. You're having a painful spiritual awakening in regards to something. So that would be the silver lining, is higher spiritual awareness or a deeper connection with your higher self. It's like your higher self is saying, this is how you reconnect with me more deeply. Going through the hard thing, learning the lesson the hard way, or having a hard experience that you don't forget, that's very impactful. Does my family have a generational financial curse? And if so, how can I break it? Message of surrender. Intelligent collaboration. Message of surrender, intelligent collaboration. This burden of like, I have to do it all by myself. I have to work really hard to make ends meet. I have to completely exhaust myself to make the financial amount that I need for the responsibilities that I have. It's like that. So reprogramming the belief that you have to overexert yourself in order to be abundant. I need a third brain surgery in a few years. Will you need a third brain surgery in a few years? Will you need a third brain surgery? Death, King of Wands, 4 of Pentacles. It feels like there's going to be an attempt to take a different action before it would get to that. So I feel like there's something that comes up that's like, okay, we need to come up with a solution for this, but I don't think the immediate solution is another surgery. I think it's like, let's try this first. It feels like that's what happens. Now that might not work, that leads to the surgery, but I feel like something else is at least tried first. It's like you almost have like a time period to adjust to the possibility of that, is how I'd word it. Message and token. I got new tokens, by the way. Telltale tokens. I think I'm going to mix them all together. I just haven't decided yet. A hand with a bird. So like releasing something to fly away. Releasing something to fly away. It feels like you're being too hard on yourself in terms of something that needs a solution: finance, home life, stability. It's like you're needing to trust divine timing in how something is unfolding, but needing to not blame, shame, or be hard on yourself in the meantime. Like if you're trusting divine timing, then don't blame yourself for not having the answer to something yet, because you're trusting divine timing. That is your answer. Does that make sense? Is there a message from my papa? Is there a message from papa? Autumn brings the next step. As the leaves fall, so do illusions. Truth will become clearer with time. So this is the year of revelation since we're going to autumn. So we're like wrapping up a year cycle. This year right now starts the year of revelations. Look in the unseen. When you ask for a sign, be open to how it appears. Not all messages are obvious. Not all messages are obvious. Someone holding the world over their head. It's kind of giving like I'd move heaven and earth to get you to have this understanding. So I'm spending the next year unraveling it piece by piece so that you can understand it. I just got a news break about Girl Scout cookies too, so that might be significant. Why is my keyboard? It's like the lights are going on and off on my keyboard. I don't understand. Is separating the best decision for us? Is separating the best decision for us? There's one more thing you considered that you're like, if we can just address this, but it's like this is locked in a cage. So how do we address it if it's locked away? But it's like your partner has the key to the cage. So like if we're going to address this, you need to open the cage so it can come out so we can address it. I feel like if that can happen, there's potential to over time rebuild. But if they won't let whatever that is out of the cage, it's kind of like you can't do it all by yourself. So I feel like it's dependent on that. Any messages from my guides and a song? Trying My Best by Anson Sebra is the song. Trying my best. Be mindful of your internal dialogue right now. It feels like there's this need to either like literally listen to like motivational speeches or something like that, or like there's a need to redirect the flow of internal dialogue because there may be this lack of focus on how it may be working against you. Almost like you're not seeing it, but not because you're avoiding it. You're just not picking up on it right away type of thing. New member, thank you. If you rearrange the letters in depression, you get I pressed on. Your current situation is not your final destination. I feel like there's a need to kind of sit and just write down everything in your mind to get it out on paper. And the clarity you get from that will help you kind of find a direction to take a next step in an area you feel blocked. Messages from my guides. Messages from my guides. It kind of feels like this is the energy of waiting for external things to change, but needing to make a decision that is the reason external things change. So instead of waiting for the change, you create a change that creates other changes in like a ripple effect. It feels like needing to take control back over some kind of inaction as it pertains to stability, like making a decision to approach the situation differently helps regain control, which allows you to see different solutions. It feels like something relating to finance. Oh, okay. So it is spelled like that, but it's basically pre. So is there like a pre version to that? Like a you know how like diabetes, I think, has like a pre. I feel like it's like that. Like that's kind of what I was getting with that. Thank you, Linda. Well, anything develop with Randy? I'm not sure if I am interpreting his signals correctly. I feel like it's mixed signals, which is why you're not sure if you're interpreting them correctly. It's like sometimes I want to go there and sometimes I don't. And I am not really going in this cycle because of thought. Like I'm just like like animal instincts type thing, I guess is how I'd word that. Not like in a nefarious way, but more just like I'm not thinking about how my mixed signals are affecting you. That's how I want to word that. So I don't feel like right now it's going to go anywhere. Message from my spirit team. Message from my spirit team. The answer lies in what hasn't happened yet that you planned to happen by now. Like something needing a second look, something you plan to have up and running yet that is not up and running yet. There's a need to relook at that and incorporate that in a new way now. Is it possible to prevent perimenopause/menopause from happening so soon? I'm 33. Should I keep working on balancing hormones? Is there a way to prevent it from happening so soon? Shining light on something that needs to be taken to a different level. So this kind of reads like you may have something genetically that would make you more sensitive to this happening earlier, but taking the extra step in some way, whether that's like nutrition or I don't know what else it would be, hormones, something like that, like going the extra mile feels to have significant impact. So yes, I feel like there is. Maybe not like medically, but like it feels like there's a way to make your body slow it down if you are more predispositioned to experiencing those things quickly or soon or early. Will my daughter and I make amends anytime soon? Will my daughter and I make amends anytime soon? I don't feel like soon, no. It kind of feels like maybe she's wrapped up in other things and is able to avoid the impact this has on her because of other things that I'm focusing on or dealing with. I would say not as soon as you would ideally like. Ancestor who came forward to assist you. Ancestor. I know you wish things had happened differently, but we both did the best we could with the time we had. Feels like that's not you and the ancestor. That's you and what the ancestor is coming through to help you with. Look in the unseen. You've already felt the answer. Why are you doubting it? You've already felt the answer. That's a good question. Why is your keyboard lighting up randomly and for who? For whom? Oh, I wonder if that's like a new thing. Like because the mediumship deck, now if people have something to say, if spirits have something to say to someone in the chat, because King of Hearts is a father figure coming through with a message of comfort to someone who was worried about something. Who? Six of Cups, his child who's in pain. Linda, it's your dad. 6-9 back to back, the good and the bad and the bad and the good. Dad bringing a message through to a child who's in pain. I just saw my military card. Is there military affiliation with your dad at all? The cycle you're breaking is thinking you need permission to be free. So I rolled an 8 with the 8 card and I rolled a 7 with the 7 card. So things coming into alignment. What I hope you realize is that I am at peace and want that for you too. A message, and there's the same king, King of Hearts. What I want you to remember about me is that I was never perfect, but I always loved you. Interesting. It's like, hey, I have a message. Let me jump on the keyboard. Message from Auntie May. Message from Auntie May. Message from Auntie May. You will always have a part of me in the strength you carry through hard times. What I want you to remember about me is how much joy our time together brought me. If you could feel my love and I lived are the songs. Is there something she did that she enjoyed that she may be encouraging you to kind of like, I don't know. The example I'm getting is like taking up knitting for stress relief. It doesn't have to be that literally, but something similar. There we go. Message from my daughter. Message from my daughter. I know you've been questioning whether the signs are real, but they are. A flower. The wisdom I want to pass down is fear is a distraction, not the truth. So not letting fear stop you from taking a step forward. They will be on the 1st. I may open some before, but I have a couple things I got to take care of when I'm done the reading. So probably not until the 1st again. Oh, he was a war hero. Yeah, I saw it. It didn't come out because I was like in the process of shuffling it, and I changed this card in the new deck. It's not the same one. Where is it? Where is it? Watch, it'll be last. No, anyway, it's the war military card. He's like, I have a message and I'm gonna get it through. Because guess what's not happening anymore? My keyboard is not lighting up anymore. Pay Attention is the song that came up by Dizzy Wright. That's so funny. What does my dad want me to know right now? What does my dad want me to know right now? If you follow the signs, you will notice the answers you seek are already in front of you. Look through others. What have people been telling you that you've brushed off? So it's almost like other people are confirming signs that you're being given that you may be questioning if you're understanding the signs correctly. So they're trying to help you understand the signs. All right, everyone. I'm going to hop off. I think I'm caught up. All right, I'm gonna hop off. I'm gonna be on tomorrow for a true crime reading. Maybe later today. We'll see. I think I'm gonna do the next Idaho one. The Sacred Woundings decks stock should be here next week. It's on the way. It's just delayed, of course. I think that's it. I will talk to you all soon. Thank you to my mods for being here, and thank you to everyone for watching.